Welcome Kasturians. In this video we will discuss chapter 1 of history, the rise of nationalism in Europe. So let's start. It was during the 19th century that this idea of nationalism it brought about changes in the political and mental state of the people in Europe. So what is nationalism, or what was the idea of nation state? A nation state is a state in which the majority of the citizens as well as the rulers, whether they are ruling different provinces within the country or within the state, so all the majority of the citizens as well as the rulers, they develop amongst themselves a sense of common identity, and they share a common history, or they belong to a common descent. That is the idea of a nation state, and this ideology was flourishing, and that made the nationalism to rise in Europe, and the European countries they became independent. So the French Revolution of 1789 was one such clear expression of nationalism. It was this revolution that ultimately guided and motivated the people along the European continent to carry forward this idea and liberate themselves from the ongoing ruling monarchical regimes. The French revolutionaries, after the revolution was over, they tried to create a sense of collective identity amongst the French people by patronizing the idea of la patrie and la citoyenne, that is common citizens and common country. They adopted a new French flag in which the symbols were taken, so that by viewing those symbols a sense of nationalism can be created. The Estates General, the Assembly of Estates General was elected, and it was the Estates General which was prevailing in the French society before the Russian Revolution took place, in which the members they were having representation from the ruling class, from the aristocrats, the nobles, as well as the peasantry. Three members were there in the Estates General. This Estates General was re-elected, and it was renamed as National Assembly. So you can say it was a complete restructuring of the Estates General took place after the French Revolution. New hymns were composed in praise of the nation, and oaths were taken by the common people. The administrative system it was made centralized, that is there was a central administrative system that was set up after the French Revolution. Internal custom duties and the internal dues which the people used to pay when the monarchy was there, all such internal custom duties and dues were abolished to make the trade terms easy and to develop the trade. Uniform system of weights and measures was introduced to bring about uniformity, economic uniformity. French became the common language of the people. So this was a view of some of the steps which were taken by the French revolutionaries to develop the idea of nationalism among the French citizens after the French Revolution. Now, Napoleon Bonaparte, he was the ruler of France from 1799 to 1815, that is he ruled for 16 years, and he gained absolute powers, or he became totally powerful in 1799 when he became the first consul. He introduced the civil code in 1804, and that came to be known as the Napoleonic Code. What he did in that, he said he established the rule of law, that is everyone will be equal before the eyes of law, whether that person, if he is a culprit or he has committed some crime, he will be treated equal like others, whether the person belongs to nobility or he is an aristocrat or he is a peasant. All were treated equally before the law. He secured the right to property to be given to the common people. The administrative measures which were more complex during the previous regime, he made such administrative measures very simple, and he abolished the feudal system, the feudal lord system, that is the son of a priest will become priest. No, he abolished that system. At the same time, he set the peasants free from serfdom, that is the peasants they used to serve their owners or masters and they have to do the manorial duties. But Napoleon, he totally abolished, he made the peasants free from serfdom and the manorial dues. The guild restrictions, guild or shreni, it's a group of people who are involved in the same trade, so they make their own societies. These societies are known as guilds. So the guild restrictions which were prevailing in the previous regime, they were totally removed, and transportation and communication system was also improved. Political freedom of the people was taken away, taxes were increased, and censorship was imposed, that is no such article can be published for public without taking the prior consent or permission of the officials. The censorship was imposed and the people were forced to join the French army, that is it was a confiscated army, an army in which the people have to forcefully join the army and serve the army for a few years. So it was also at the same time when Napoleon was liberal in case of political and administrative reforms, he was very strict and he was ruling like a dictator. Like in political freedom was taken away, taxes were imposed to increase the revenue, and the confiscated army or the forced recruitment in army was a negative measure which was taken by Napoleon. All this led to spread of nationalism in Europe. How? The European nation states, they were not having common identity or culture. Like I just told in the beginning of video, that nation state or nation state is a state in which the majority of citizens and rulers develop a sense of common identity and share a common history or descent. But in Europe, there was no such nation state in the beginning because of the absence of a common identity or culture. The people, they were residing in different areas and they were speaking different languages. Like in Hungary, half of the people, they were speaking Magyar and the other half population was speaking different languages, and in Galicia people were speaking Polish. The aristocracy at that time was the class which was actually the landowner, and the aristocrats, they used to speak French. And within, although these aristocrats, they were very few in number, but they tried to maintain and continue with their existence by making ties of marriages within the aristocratic families. It was although a numerically small group, but it was the group which was having the major portion of wealth in their hands due to the owning of large number of lands. On the other side, when we see peasantry, it included the majority of population, and they have to work and perform the serfdom and manorial dues for the aristocrats or their owners. Then emerged a new class due to flourishing of trade, as the guild restrictions were removed and transport and communication system was improved. So this led to flourishing trade, and this flourishing trade made the people to emerge as a new class, that came to be known as the middle class, It was a new social class that grew due to growth of towns and emergence of commercial classes. And this middle class was included the engineers, the merchants, the traders. So this class was actually the educated class, where the ideology of nationality or nationalism, it gained popularity because they knew the idea, and they, being educated, they can well predict and they can well pretend the idea of nationalism. So this regular discussion among themselves, among them, made this idea of nationalism to become popular. The liberal nationalism, when liberals, it comes to liberal, the liberals, they stood for freedom of individual, and since it was related to liberty, so liberty in a way refers to equality of all before the law. So the liberal nationalism therefore came to be known as a movement for freedom of the individual, to maintain equality for all before the law, and to end the ongoing autocratic and clerical privileges. That's all we have in this video. The remaining parts we will discuss in the next videos. Thank you. Have a nice day.